Hey, Hunter, did you do coke in the White House? Well, no, of course not. I'm more of a Pepsi guy myself. Yeah, that's what I told him. I told him that you didn't drink that stuff. But I did do a lot of cocaine there. Ass in the White House. Oh, no, no. Hey, Hunter, quick question. Did you do grass in the White House? Oh, no, no, of course not. Ooh, see, you know I don't cut my own lawn. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, we'll just take your word for it again. But I did smoke some weed there.
All right, guys, welcome to the show. Oh, I thought I could bring in some light action with the few shorts that have been released over the weekend. And so, as you know, there's been a lot of drugs found in the White House. But we aren't going to jump into that right just now. All right, what I want to talk about is everything that's currently going on in the country. Yeah. For instance, is this just something that the White House just decided that we need to know about for the very first time? Considering that was literally marijuana there a few months ago. I'm just saying, it all sounds kind of fishy to me, if I do say so myself. Do you not find it weird that we go ahead and we go like, hey, it's okay that Hunter is in there doing some coke, doing some lines there, probably with someone there that he knows. That's all I'm saying. All right, do we not find that weird? Okay, in all honesty, we do need to talk about all of this different stuff. Like, why is this stuff coming out now? Why are we, as the American people, just hearing about it? Okay, like, why don't you tell me that? Why is it, as the American people, we only know the things that they want us to know? All right, let's think about it. All right, the Secret Service knew about this stuff a long time ago, a long time ago. Cool. And now they're saying like, oh yeah, ooh, this stuff. Oh well. Is it because that Joe Biden is trying to do something else unconstitutional that has I don't know, student debt relief going on again because it went so well the last time, even though that there's no institutional power to relieve that whatsoever because it is a loan that isn't defined in the Constitution whatsoever for it. But we just gotta keep on talking about this stuff with this nonsense. Since there's a whole bunch of stuff that went on this month. Hell, within the last few days, and we just are now hearing about it. We are now hearing about this because there is definitely a facade going around here. There is something going on around here right now that the institutions do not want us to know about. No. There's something going on here that we have to just say, hey, everything is fine. It's like that freaking meme where like you have the dog in the burning building. That is us Americans right now in this situation. This is how it is. And this is how they say that it has to be. I don't think it has to be like this. I don't think it has to be just us sitting here going all like, yeah, let's take it on the chin. Let's go ahead and say everything is fine. I don't think we need to do that. I think we need to continue reading into things. Because if there is something that the government says that they want us to know now that they didn't want us to know earlier on, there's something wrong. And there are a lot of people that are saying this now. It's not just Republicans. You actually have some Democrats saying this now as well. You have Democrats like RFK Jr. that are saying stuff that like, hey, we shouldn't be having this stuff going on. Do I like RFK Jr.? Yes, I think he's great. I think he's a great man. Man, do I like his policies? I think some of his policies are great. Will I vote for him, however? No, I will not. I personally will not. Should you? That is up to you to decide. There are people in these institutions and have been affected by these institutions that no longer want us to question what is going on. RFK Jr. is scared to go ahead and give speeches outside. Do I blame him? No. Do I think fear should dictate his life? No. Do I think he has every reason to be scared? Yes, I do. Because the same policies that he is putting forward for his candidacy on the Democratic side is what his dad put forward, RFK, and what his uncle put forward. And we're saying that, hey, we shouldn't be worrying about this. We have someone that is sure, like they're on the opposing side, but they are afraid to give speeches because of the institutions that have killed his family. And we have to just go ahead and say, hey, nothing's going on here. We just have to take that deep breath and say, everything is good. Good. Do I think everything is good? No, I do not. Do I think things can be a lot better? Yes, I do. How do we do that? How do we make things better on our end as the American people? Well, it's pretty simple. What we have to do is elect people that we align with politically. We also have to go ahead and, elect people that are actually genuinely nice people. However, there are people that say that there's no such thing as a genuinely nice person that is a politician, especially on the federal level. And I say, why do you think that? That a lot of these people that we see on a day-to-day basis is in the political realm, we don't know what they do. Are we saying that they do a lot of this stuff for clout? Sure, why not? I bet a lot of them do. However, do I think a lot of these people go ahead and say, hey, I'm going to do this no matter what? Yes, I do. You don't have to be someone that goes like, hey, yeah, this ideology that is getting pushed, and I'm not talking about just ideologies from the left. I'm talking about ideologies from the right as well. Well, these ideologies are getting pushed are bad for the American people. We need people to think that way. We need people that go ahead and say, hey, let's go ahead and think about what's going on. Do we need that 100% of the time? Yes, we do. Do we need people to go ahead and say, we as an American people need to stand up and fight against the tyranny that is ahead of us? Yes, we do. But how do we do that? Is this a raise the arms for the American people? I don't know. That's up for you to decide. Is this calling for a civil war? I don't know. That's for you to decide. Is this calling for people to be in our governmental powers? To actually be smart, to actually guide us, to actually answer to us as the American people? Yes, it is. Now, Are we going to just sit here and say that everything is good, everything is grand? Or are we going to go ahead and get people elected that we need to be in office? Or are we going to go ahead and just sit here and wait? Wait for the things that just come by saying everything is fine. I don't think we should. I think we should be going ahead and questioning everything that is coming out of the White House, wondering why, hey, why did this come out just now? These are things that we have to think about as the American people. These are things that we have to go ahead and vote on in the next election. We like to say that our elections are referendums on the party that is in power. However, I don't think that. I think it is a referendum on what the American people actually think coming each election cycle. And the people going ahead, hey, we need this, we need that. We need to actually think about what we actually need. Do we actually need a government that goes ahead and says, hey, slow down? Hey, let's talk about all of this stuff that you do not want to think about? Oh, do we want governments that goes ahead and say, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to infringe upon your rights. No. So once again, how do we do that as the American people? Getting people elected to the powers at be that we support, not just on a political basis, but an ideological basis as well. Are we just going to go ahead and say there's nothing wrong here? We can't just say that, oh, whatever. No, that's not what we're supposed to do. The founding fathers made sure that we were able to question everything at the powers at be. But are we just going to go ahead and sit here and let everything go day by day, saying, hey, let's go ahead and let this happen? Sadly, a lot of the American people have done that. A lot of the American people have accepted their fate. There are only a very few that have gone ahead and say, we are fighting today. Now, let's get into the news that the government doesn't want you to know about. Things that you probably haven't known about because they don't want you to hear. Because, you know, the government would rather talk about the drugs that they found at the White House rather than going ahead and saying, hey, maybe there are things that we have to look into here. Maybe there are things with international powers that we have to wonder about. What? That being said, we do have one international headline that we have to go over today. Benjamin Netanyahu, all right, the Prime Minister of Israel, was hospitalized and he was undergoing medical evaluation earlier today. As usual, this stuff is from the Daily Wire, but you know what? A lot of these institutions will not go ahead and cover this. Prime Minister Netanyahu was hospitalized because of dehydration. At least that is what his office has said. He had lost consciousness and fell, hitting his head. This man is 73 years old. And they say, well, this is because that Netanyahu was, once again, he was with his wife. They were taking a beach day. Well, good for Netanyahu for going to the beach and taking some family time. However, for one, like, he has to be drinking water. He's been on this earth for 74 years. He knows what he needs to do. He's in a climate that is very, very hot. In the dead of summer. And we need to talk about that. are there reasons? Look, this isn't just in the United States that we are electing people that are very old. We're saying that we want to get rid of the old guard, but we just keep on electing the old guard. Are we saying that everything is good here? Are we saying that, yes, everywhere should be electing people that are old and decrepit? Look, I like Benjamin Netanyahu. I think he's a great man. I think he's just a great leader. But however, I do think that there needs to be a time where people actually say, hey, enough is enough. We need to be going ahead and getting younger people elected. Look, I am not talking about people even in their 20s, 30s, maybe 40s. We can go ahead and elect people. We need to go ahead and elect world leaders that can, one, look, not worry about getting dehydrated. And look, dehydration can happen to anyone. All right, that's a fact. It happened to me. All right. However, should we really be electing people like this? Like I said, Benjamin Netanyahu is a great man. He's a great leader. His policies are very great for Israel. He is fighting to keep Israel alive. And Israel needs someone like him in power. However, do we have to go ahead and just sit here and say, hey, whatever? Nothing is going on here. Let's just sit down, take a break, take that deep breath. Wow. I'm here to say that, yes, Netanyahu is a great man, but there is something that needs to go on here today. Now, one of my friends did text me just now agreeing with me that there needs to be an age gap on powerful leaders. And I think that we aren't wrong for saying this. Yes, there needs to be. Yeah. And it's just reality at bay. Hey. Speaking of old people that need to face reality, everyone's favorite person, Joe Biden, has done something again. Joe Biden ignites a firestorm. So, you guys want to know what Joe Biden did? Well, let's take a watch, shall we? I'll play this video several times for you. All right. Now, as you can see, the child is disturbed. The child is probably no older than 3 years old? Maybe she's 2. All right. Even that child has the facial expression that this shouldn't be going on here. However, does Joe Biden care? Does Joe Biden keep on nibbling the child? Yes, he does. Do we go ahead and say, hey, do we need to just sit here and accept this? All right, Krabby Turtle says, Pedo Pete. Yes, he is. Yes. Now, how come we haven't heard about this? How come this hasn't been in the news cycle? Maybe it's because the institutions have gone ahead and said, hey, Joe Biden needs to stay in power. Joe Biden needs to go ahead and stay there. Joe Biden, although he may be creepy, he is the exact puppet that they need. I mean, look, if you see in that video, the kid's face is in horror. It is terrified that this creepy old man, she is terrified that this creepy old man is going ahead and nibbling her. Look, if this was any of our family members, we'd probably be putting them in an old folks home. You know what the Biden's old folks home is that they put them in? It was the White House. That's what they did. What did the mother have to do? She just took a selfie while her daughter was terrified. And we're saying this is okay. This child she is raising is going to be a Republican because of this instance. I can tell you that right now. This child's already going to know what the two genders are because there are only two. This child is going to be probably the brightest person in her family, but judging the mother, if anyone's else like that, that's not too hard to do. And I think we can all agree on that. So why is it that even the Bidens refuse to say that there is something wrong with him? Look, all you need to have is two brain cells to rub together to say that there's something wrong with this man. To say that this man is going through something right now. But do the Bidens care? No, they do not. Do they care that something is happening to this elderly man? No. Now, does this elderly man care about his own granddaughter? No. He even refuses to go ahead and say that she exists. And are we supposed to say that is okay? We should not. Are we literally saying that this is okay for him to be in this type of power? The thing is that we need to question what is going on here. As Republicans, that's what we do in this situation. But are the other American people doing that? On the Democrat side of the aisle, RFK is making waves. He is going to be forcing that debate coming really soon. Speaking of debates, though, the Republican debate will be scheduled for August. Yes. Will I be live streaming it right now as soon as it comes on? No, I will not. However, I want to make this announcement right now that I will watch it I guess we'll do that Saturday, maybe that Sunday. We will watch it together. We'll all have some drinks. We're going to have a good time. The debate will be on Wednesday, August 23rd, with what it seems to be all of the potential nominees right now. And one who's going to get their ass handed to him? Mike Pence. No one likes Mike Pence in that room. Tucker killed ASA, Nikki, Mike Pence, and DeSantis in Iowa in those interviews. Yeah. Only candidate that did well was Vivek. Yeah, Vivek did really well. Well, I haven't seen DeSantis's interview, but I have seen part of Pence's, and Pence looks awful. There's also a video of him getting hit with a water balloon. And do I think it's funny? Yeah, I do. I think it's kind of hilarious. Now, what? I think the three front runners for the candidacy will be Trump, DeSantis, and Vivek. Do I want DeSantis? Yes. Can I see Vivek beating DeSantis? However, yes, I can. I think Vivek is a very intelligent person. So I think he would make a great president. However, will any of them beat Trump? Thing is, Trump doesn't even have to do any campaigning right now because he's always in the headlines because of the so-called indictments that he's getting into, saying that they are going to charge him. Let's see how that happens. The day that Trump serves time in prison is the day that the Biden family and the Clinton family will be there by his side. Ergo, it's never going to happen. It's just not. And this is the thing that Democrats have a problem in believing in. They say that they got him every single time, but they do not. It's that simple. Now, who do I think would be on that Trump ticket? I do not know. Could I see a DeSantis? Potentially. Potentially, I could see that. However, who do I think Trump should get? Who do I think that anyone on the Republican side should choose as their vice president? I don't think it should be any of the candidates that we have that are announced for the Republican Party. People can go ahead and call me crazy all that they want. But I think the only smart choice in this instance is Tulsi Gabbard. I think Tulsi Gabbard is the person that should be going ahead and getting that reward. Tulsi Gabbard, I think, will be on the Trump ticket for vice president. I think whoever wins the candidacy should have her by their side. Because having someone that has just freshly left the Democratic Party will make waves and actually bring voters across the aisle. All right. Now, I wasn't going to talk about the Ron DeSantis stuff just yet that I have here. But according to Daily Wire, Ron DeSantis makes waves at Republican Presidential Forum in Iowa. Well, here's the question. Just how much waves did he see? All right. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis garnered strong positive reactions from a crowd in an event in Iowa on Friday who gathered to see 6 Republican presidential candidates sit down for interviews with Tucker Carlson. Well, duh. All right. We all knew this. All right. We all knew this was going to happen. Steve Deese, I guess that's how you pronounce his name, co-hosted some segments. And he said that DeSantis is the strongest candidate at the event. DeSantis and President Trump, who we all know skipped the forum, are the only candidates that are polling in the double digits. However, Vivek Raghuswamy will go ahead and he will be polling in the double digits by this time next month. He will be polling at least at 10% before the Republican debates. All right, I almost said presidential debates. All right, he will be polling before 10%. Before he will be at 10%. So mid-August. All right, I am calling it. 10% is what Vivek Raghuswamy will be polling at during this time. And it will be before. It will be before the debates. Now, who do I think the 3 top runners are going to be? Well, obviously the 3 that I told you about earlier. I think Trump will be ahead of everyone during that time still. Obviously, even if he does debate or not. However, if he doesn't, this is how a lot of them will be able to climb a bit more in the polls. So if Trump is not in the debate, we will be seeing Vivek Ramaswamy and Ron DeSantis going at it. Because every other candidate there, I want to be honest, yeah, there's some great candidates there, but they aren't as strong as what we need. All right. Do I like Larry Elder? Yes. Do I think he should be running at this time? No, Larry. The time for you to run was years ago. Why didn't you? That was the time for you to run, sir. That's how it was. Mike Pence, you threw your presidential dreams away when you decided, hey, we are not going to send this back to the states. So I don't even know why you announced your candidacy for the president of the United States. Tell me that, Mike. You already know that with Republicans, you're at most polling at like 1%. All right, and I think that 1% is just delusional. You threw your presidential dreams away. You threw them away, Mike. No one can trust you anymore, Mike. How is anyone going to trust you? How is anyone going to do that? Can you tell me that, Mike? How are we going to trust you with the institutional power that comes with being president of the United States? How are we going to trust you with any of this? Tell me. Tell me, Mike. None of us believe this is what is supposed to happen. Right. All right. Let's just sit down, Mike. All right. All right, we are going to be watching a few minutes of this. Krabby Turtle sent us a quick video. We are going to watch a few minutes of it and see what is going on with the Mike Pence's last words. However, if you want to watch more of these interviews, Krabby Turtle has left links in the chat on YouTube for you to check out. These are the links for, well, basically everything. Everything that you could want. Well, these are the links for the interviews that he went ahead and provided for all of you. Now, let's take a watch to Mike Pence being an idiot as usual.
Stressed that the Ukrainians don't have enough American tanks. Every city in the United States has become much worse over the past 3 years. Yeah. Drive around. There's not one city that's gotten better in the United States. And it's visible. Our economy has degraded. The suicide rate has jumped. Public filth and disorder and crime have exponentially increased. And yet your concern is that the Ukrainians, a country most people can't find on a map, who've received tens of billions of U.S. tax dollars, don't have enough tanks. I think it's a fair question to ask, like, where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern. Anybody that says that we can't be the leader of the free world and solve our problems at home has a pretty small view of the greatest nation on earth. We can do both. And as President of the United States, we will secure our border, we will support our military, we will revive our economy and stand by our values, and we will also lead the world for freedom under my administration. I promise you.
Amen. Vice President Mike Pence, thank you very much.
We have to identify where they are, and I'm not going to pretend that will be an easy task, but that should be the responsibility.
Well, but wait a second. The federal government like knows where everyone is because everyone has a smartphone and they're tracking you.
Yes.
You know, so like we know anyone using a fake social security number, why not just like drop them off in Tijuana? Bye-bye.
Well, I'm going to appoint Tucker Carlson as my bye-bye ambassador to figure this out. So we're going to work together on this. And I'm
a sincere question. But how is it? But how is it treatment? I guess that's my question. If you have a child,
I'm going to appoint Tucker Carlson as my bye-bye ambassador. That is how I like to talk. Tucker Carlson as my bye-bye ambassador. What? Tucker Carlson as my bye-bye ambassador. Is that really the best joke you can come up with on the spot? Man, your life must be boring. Good Lord. I feel sorry for your mother. And I also feel sorry for your wife. Oh, good Lord. Okay. All right. We are going to break up those videos. We do have a few more that Krabby Turtle went ahead and sent us in the chat. The next one that we will be checking out for a few minutes will be the Tucker Carlson challenges DeSantis, and we'll be getting a reaction to that later on in the show. However, I think it's time that we talk about more student debt relief. Brought to you by the Joe Biden Foundation that does not have any clue about how any of this works. The Biden administration, everyone, has announced $39 billion in student debt relief. It's like, look, all right. They're like, well, the education department is going to be able to do it. No, they are not. It's that simple. It is not going to happen. And I have no clue why I have to explain this to people like they are frickin' 3 years old. If it didn't happen the first time, it's not going to work the second time. I know people like to go like, well, third time's the charm. Well, look, if it doesn't work even the first 2 times, it's not going to work at all. This is what is wrong with everything in the country. We have people in power that don't know what's going on. What is going on with these people? Saying, hey, let's go ahead and get the student debt relief going again. This is not going to happen whatsoever. What is going on with these people today? And I should have brought another beer in with me. Oh, Lord, I didn't know that we were going to have to talk about all these people being stupid. Well, yes, I did. It's politics. Yes. As someone that is in politics. Yeah, yes, Deshaun. It is all game for the vote. That's literally all that this is. Everyone just goes ahead and says that they want to talk about all this stuff. But look, that's why the Democrats Democrats did better in the freaking midterms is that they went ahead and they promised all this bull crap. All right, like, oh, the Gateway Pundit. All right, let's take that. Let's take a look at that. All right. Victory, brave Georgia Democrat switches parties. He's previously warned the Democrat establishment is looking to take me out. Okay. Let's see. Do we have a video here? All right, let's see if we got a video here so we can watch it real quick. Oh, okay. Well, I thought this was going to be a video. So Representative Misha Maynard, she said that she has made the decision to leave the Democrat Party. She represents a blue district in the city of Atlanta. She said this wasn't a political decision. This was moral, and she will never apologize for being a black woman with a mind of her own. Good for her. All right, good for her. Hopefully we can find a video of her saying stuff for it. Well, you know what? I'll go ahead and read this quote. All right? All right. This is what Representative Maynard said today. All right. My name is Representative Maynard. I made a... Well, I already freaking read this. What? Okay. All right. When I decided to stand up on behalf of the disadvantaged children in support of school choice, my Democrat colleagues didn't stand by me. They crucified me. When I decided to stand up in support of safe communities and refuse to support efforts to defend police, they didn't back me. They abandoned me. For far too long, the Democrat Party has gotten away with using and abusing the black community. For decades, the Democratic Party has received the support of more than 90% of the black community. And what do we have to show for it? I represent a solidly blue district in the city of Atlanta. This isn't a political decision for me. It's a moral one. The most dangerous thing to the Democrat Party is a black person with a mind of their own. So it wouldn't surprise me. Oh. So she has gone ahead and announced that she is going to go ahead and start on going and leaving the Democrat Party and hopefully help grow the Republican Party in Atlanta. Now, for my listeners in Atlanta, tell me what you think about her. Tell me what you think about her today. Yeah. Now, let's go ahead and read about everyone's favorite swimmer. Trans swimmer that doesn't even know what is in between his legs. Leah Thomas. Now, he posted a photo earlier. Not sure if it was today, but it was earlier. And no words on everything. So, Thomas, who made headlines competing for the NCAA swimming championship while still in a fully intact biological male, wore all black sunglasses, black shorts, a black BDSM harness. What? And a black shirt emblazoned with the words Antifa Super Soldier. So, people like to say that Antifa doesn't support fascism. However, they fight fascism with fascism. Well, they don't even fight fascism. They are the fascists. Leah Thomas has openly came out and said that he is a member of Antifa, a group that should be labeled as a terrorist group. Just saying. Now, that's all I really want to talk about him. Be honest, we could all talk about him for a while. His teammates, who are actual biological women, don't even like him. They don't like him at all. Now, let's get into the drugs at the White House, because we all know whose those weren't whose those aren't. They were definitely not. I don't know. Hunter Biden's. Not someone that has a history of drugs, right? Could it be him? Could it be Hunter Biden that had all this stuff? I mean, after all, he never had a coke addiction, right? No, wait, he wrote about that in his book. He never smoked weed, right? No, wait. He also wrote about that in his book. Okay. So, so going on with the cocaine first. The Secret Service ends White House investigation with no leads, saying that they have no DNA evidence, fingerprints, or video evidence. No bullshit. They already know who it was. They just won't tell you, because it is the president's son who broke his probation that should now be behind bars. There is a reason why they're not going to tell you that, because it does not fit their narrative. He smoked Parmesan cheese. Yes, he did. He also snorted it. All right. Now, all right, from NBC, all right. All right. Sorry, not NBC. New York. All right, well, freaking accident closed out of that one. I don't feel like looking it up again. So, New York Post has also posted that, yeah, about that. There's marijuana found in the White House as well in 2022 several times. Several times. And we are supposed to be okay with that. This is the most highly guarded and most secure building in the United States, and we are saying that we do not know who had this stuff? And here's the thing. It was in rooms that you're not supposed to have your cell phone in. Are you really sure about that? Are you sure that you don't know what is going on? Whew, man. The Secret Service either thinks that you're stupid, or they know that they are dumb. However, both can be true at once. Now, let's get to a bill that has all the Democrats crying, even though a lot of normal people actually support this. So Republicans have passed the bill. And yes, this is from the Hill because, why not, right? Passes amendments that threaten to doom defense bill. All right. So what were those amendments? Huh? Well, let's see what those amendments are. Sure. 5 of the measures that Republicans voted on are pertaining explosive issues, including abortion and transgender rights. It's what the Hill says. These were largely partisan votes Thursday evening. Huh. You mean we don't want taxpayers to pay for travel for abortions and taxpayers to pay for men getting their dicks chopped off or women getting their freaking tits chopped off. We don't want that. Huh. It's weird. And guess what? You want to know something? We're just going, you know what? How about this? We're just going to read this. The most consequential of those amendments that would be reversed. First, the Pentagon's policy to reimburse travel expenses for service members who get abortions. Why was that even a thing? Why would we be going ahead and going like, oh yeah, definitely, yeah, we'll reimburse you. Do you reimburse? Do companies reimburse anyone for any procedure that they get out of pocket? No. Should it be the same for murder? I'm just saying. You should not be getting reimbursed when you're literally killing a life. A policy that prompted Senator Tommy Tuberville, a Republican from Alabama, to block hundreds of military promotions in the Senate in protest. Just 2 Republicans. Representative Fitzpatrick, Republican from Pennsylvania, and John Dorati, Republican from California, opposed that amendment. And 1 representative that is a Democrat, Henry Cuellar from Texas, said yes. What the fuck? All right, guys, I'm gonna have to spray the shit out of my freaking office here. Well, it looks like it got caught on the web. We're fine. All right. I'll just vacuum the shit out of it then. All right, so. All right, fucking hell. Where the hell are these things coming from? Only that gets into freaking spiderweb too. I don't have any of my windows open. It's like some freaking beetles flying around here. Oh, they're spraying the shit out of them. Later. All right. So, they have a problem with us not going ahead and reimbursing these people? What? Here's the thing. A lot of these people that are in these freaking armed services don't want to be around these people that don't even know what's in their fucking pants. That's all I'm saying. You do not know what's in your pants. Should you be able to go ahead and put your life on the line? If you're unsure what's in your freaking pants, are you all good? No, I don't think so. You're not sane in the head. All right. All right, so let's take a watch at a bit of these videos that Krabby Turtle sent us today. Okay. And we'll be spraying the shit out of these freaking bugs when I have the time. Maybe it's just even vacuum up these motherfuckers. All right, actually, I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of this video for you guys for Tucker Carlson. So while I go ahead and do the things that I need to do to get these motherfuckers out of here. Give me a second.
Who says, was born a boy, I want to become a girl. He hasn't gone through puberty yet. He's, say, 10. Is it treatment to prevent him from going through the natural process of adolescence? How is that treatment? It seems not like treatment. It seems like something else.
Well, you have to, Tucker, I hope that we'll be able to talk about some issues. I know that.
Well, this is one of the biggest issues in the country, and I think every person in this room would agree that it is a central issue because these are children who are being altered permanently, and you can defend that alteration, that change, if you like, but there's really no debate about whether or not it's permanent. And so I think it's fair to ask you in a calm, rational, and I very much hope polite way, why you would support that. When I asked about the 81 million votes, you immediately said things I think I agree with about election integrity. Yeah. So are you suggesting that that'll last election? It sounds like you're saying you don't think it was on the level.
Are you talking about the presidential?
That's correct, the presidential.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we all know that there were irregularities in there and that there were some issues that happened. We know that there was mail-out balloting that shouldn't have happened. Do I think that changed the results of the election? No, I mean, I think President Biden ended up winning the election.
You want to know what caused January 6th? There's such a temptation to say that there's one man whose name is unspeakable. We can't.
No, first of all, it's QAnon. It's QAnon.
It's QAnon. You want to know what caused January 6th? Is pervasive censorship in this country in the lead up to January 6th. You tell people in this country they cannot speak, that is when they scream. You tell people they cannot scream, that is when they tear things down. So that's the lead up of one full year of telling people you have to shut up, sit down, and do as you're told. And then you tell them, okay, there's an election where you didn't get the information that you needed, such as the Hunter Biden laptop story being real and suppressed. That's what caused January 6th.
Actually, the tragic loss of life ransacking the Capitol that occurred. But I really do believe that a day of tragedy became a triumph of freedom. And I'll always believe that by God's grace, I did my duty that day under the Constitution of the United States of America and our institutions held. And I think it's absolutely essential that we do everything in our power to restore public confidence in the one person, one vote principle at the heart of this republic.
Why not just get rid of electronic voting machines and call it a day, and then we don't have to debate it? One of the powers that government did usurp over the past several years is the right to decide what medicine you take in the form of COVID mandates. How did you feel about that? And how many COVID shots did you take? And how do you feel about it now, in retrospect?
How many COVID shots did you take?
0.
When you have FBI colluding with big tech to censor dissent, I would fire those people. Had I been president 2020, Anthony Fauci would have been fired, and you've got to be willing to do it.
It's time to introduce you to the new Patriot Power Generator 2000X.
All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. There was freaking like 2 beetles freaking flying around. I'd have to kill those assholes. All right, so we're going to watch a few more videos. All right, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them down in the chat. All right. Let's see. Let's watch a few minutes of the Tucker Carlson challenging Ron DeSantis. All right. Oh, well, Breitbart. Oh God. I guess we'll watch that too.
Place during the last presidential election, and by the way, I think it remains in place in the federal agencies, telling information providers, the social media companies, what they can and cannot run. No one's been held accountable. Meanwhile, Julian Assange is still in prison thanks to our efforts. Would you pardon him, and would you hold those people who are violating the First Amendment accountable?
So these people that violated the First Amendment, they need to be held accountable for that. People died as a result of that because they were censoring truthful information about COVID that if people would have adopted those policies, the country would have been better off. Individual states would have been better off. And so I think it had a profound effect. The fact that they censored dissent on COVID meant some kids got locked out of school for a year. The fact that they censored dissent on COVID meant that some people took some of these booster shots when they didn't need to, and they ended up having an adverse reaction. So it had major, major impact. So I think not just with the censorship, I think everything involving COVID, I think there needs to be major, major accountability, because if there's not, if you don't have a reckoning, they are going to do it again. They are going to do it again. Now, in terms of using pardon, my goal is to end the weaponization of government. And that involves firing people. It involves taking parts of the DOJ and putting them in other states. Iowa, if you guys want a part of the DOJ, I'll send it out here, send it to Alabama, wherever. And we're going to do that. We're going to take power out of Washington. But part of what you need to do, if you have a two-tiered system of justice, you need to make sure if there's some people that got away that shouldn't have, they need to face the music. And if there are other people that are getting targeted through abuse of government, then there needs to be use of the pardon power. So the day after the election, we're going to open up an ability for people to submit applications, ask for the pardon based on whether they were treated dissimilarly or whether the government mobilized against them. And so we're going to do it the front end of the administration. I'm not going to wait till my last day in office. Do it the front end. And if people are doing that, and that's part of ensuring a single standard of justice, we will be willing to use the pardon power. It's going to be done on a case-by-case basis because I'm a governor and I've actually had to look at these things, and you owe it to everybody to do that. But we will be issuing pardons, and that'll be determined based on the facts and circumstances at the time.
We know that the.
So I think that was a good answer overall, but however, Ron, look, yes, I support you. Should have just said yes or no to the Julian Assange thing. So like, yes, with Julian Assange. And we are going to do this as well, day one. That's what you should have said.
The U.S. government reads the private communications of American citizens by the tens of millions without a warrant. And everyone knows this. It's been revealed. They've admitted it. And no one has moved to stop it. Do you think that there's a good reason to allow this? How can that be?
No. I mean, I think the federal government has a responsibility to protect us from foreign threats. We're going to have intelligence capabilities overseas, but to turn those on our own citizens, especially with this government's behavior, is totally untenable. I am going to go in and declassify or put as much stuff out as I can. I think that you guys have a right to know things that happened 60, 70 years ago that the government's kept under wraps. Now, obviously, if things that are more recent, if there's stuff, I mean, you have to make those judgments. But my default is going to be that they're going to have a high burden to justify why it shouldn't be public for some of these main things that we all talk about that have occurred in the past, because the government uses classification as a way to evade accountability for itself. I think there is a legitimate use of classified information, but it's like what should be classified and what actually is like so much more. And so it's all about protecting their power. But it's a huge, huge problem in how they've conducted this. And to turn the government on the American people, that's the founding fathers' worst nightmare.
So let me just end.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Also, let's talk about a few other things real quick. All right. Did you guys know that Joe Biden went ahead and reclassified the Kennedy documents? That's right. He reclassified them. Why did he do that? Just something to think about. All right, guys, like I said, if you have any questions, leave them in the chat. After we're going ahead and, I guess, watching this Breitbart thing, I don't know, I haven't clicked on it yet. We're reading it. The stream will end unless you add questions. It's to the chat. All right, so fire away. Okay. All right. All right, so this is a Detroit cop commissioner, and he is resigning. All right, he's resigning after claiming prostitute jumped into his truck. What? What?
He says it's in his best interest of his family. Detroit Police Commissioner Brian Ferguson has resigned just a day after sheriff's deputies say they caught him with a prostitute. That story tops our news tonight at 5. Thanks for being with us. I'm Kimberly Gill.
I'm Devin Skillian. Ferguson's resignation was announced this afternoon in a news release. It comes less than 24 hours after he denied the claims and called the whole thing a big misunderstanding. Rod Maloney live for us tonight. And Rod, the timeline here, things move pretty quickly.
Yeah, they did, Devin, and we're here at the Laborers Local Union on the northwest side of the city by Northwestern High School. And it's here in about an hour and a half. The police commissioners are going to have their weekly meeting. But there's going to be an empty chair here tonight.
Talk to the people for barricaded gunmen.
Now, former Police Commissioner Brian Ferguson just completed his term as Civilian Oversight Board Chairman on June 30th, and his term as regular commissioner was to run through 2024. All derailed by an incident yesterday. The Wayne County Sheriff's Office, doing the investigation into the incident, tells Local 4 a regular Detroit police patrol rolled up on Ferguson's truck in the neighborhood of Schoolcraft and Schaefer on the city's west side. After he emerged from the vehicle with the woman, he ended up cited for indecent, obscene conduct for his alleged involvement with a prostitute. Last night, Ferguson put out a statement denying indecent conduct and called the incident a complete misunderstanding. Yet this afternoon had another statement, quote, "It has been an honor and a privilege to serve the residents of the city of Detroit in police oversight. After further consideration in the best interests of my family and the board, I am choosing to resign as District 1 Police Commissioner effective immediately. Again, I admonish the board and the public to remain focused on the important work of oversight, transparency, and accountability," end quote. Ferguson has 3 days to pick up his truck. He hadn't as of this afternoon. Ferguson's Detroit home is just a few blocks from the intersection where he received his ticket. He was not home when we visited this afternoon looking for a comment, and he didn't answer his cell phone either. And repeated attempts to get him to talk about this turned up nothing at this point. And so as it stands right now, indeed, this was a very quick series of events. Devin, back to you.
Have we heard from the police commission on this today, Rod?
We have not. I have made about half a dozen phone calls, got voicemails for most of them. The chairman said he had no comment until they have the meeting here tonight. So perhaps they will have something to say about that.
What? They just happened to jump in when I was around my house. What? He wasn't home. What? They have a ring fucking doorbell. Even though if he was home, he wouldn't freaking pick that up. We're looking for a comment on it. Oh my god. All right, guys. So we're about to end tonight. All right. All right, guys. So as always, we are going to be ending off in a historical quote today. And today's historical quote comes from President Abraham Lincoln. I walk slowly, but never backwards. I walk slowly, but never backwards. All right, guys. As always, thank you for tuning in, and God bless.